Have you ever felt like you're undercharging, felt guilty about asking for money or being paid for your work, or didn't dare to ask for a raise? Don't worry, you're really not alone, especially amongst women. This is a narrative I've heard time and time again from my clients, but I've also experienced it myself. I want to share about the moment when I was working on the trading floor and all the men were earning much more than me. And I really had to walk into the office and ask for my worth and step up and really demand it. And I learned that men were doing this all the time. But why is it that women just don't dare to speak up, to ask for their worth, or to charge what they feel like their self-value is, when actually oftentimes we're completely undervaluing ourselves as women? So this is what I want to dive into today in this video, to really understand what is going on in the dynamics, how it plays out, and how you can make shifts to really improve your situation. There's such a strong link between being paid less than what you deserve and your self-worth. And I've seen this over the last 10 years of working with men and women around money, but especially with women. And it is such a narrative in our culture where women are just undervaluing themselves in so many ways. Number one, it's not a long time that women have been working in the economic system. We've been in the healthcare system, schooling system, care at home, family care, nursing, teachers that are the most underpaid in our society. And those have been mainly in the past decades occupied by women. Now the narrative, of course, is also changing and the times are changing. Our system needs to update to really embrace this, because we are still wired towards that narrative, towards I don't deserve to make money for what I'm doing. Care shouldn't be paid for. And often our rewiring doesn't just come from ourselves, but it comes from the generations before us. It comes from the stories we've been told. It comes from the patterns we're carrying down, as women especially. So oftentimes this needs to be undone. When you feel like you're hitting a glass ceiling today, that glass ceiling isn't necessarily related just to your life, but to so many decades of women who've come before you. So I'd love for you to sit down and just to write down your money story, where you've come from, what's been going on, what your mother lived through, your grandmother lived through. Sometimes women do come from wealthy families and the money is there. However, their fathers have been very strong, or their brothers, their husbands, whatever it is, that they haven't been educated around money. And so it's always been like, oh, this is not your place. This is also a huge narrative to be rewritten. Now, when it comes to the pattern of undercharging, undervaluing yourself, and that relationship to money can show up in so many different ways. Sometimes it comes in not spending at all, and you can maybe even determine this in your story or how you relate to money. I've had clients tell me that it shows up when they're at the checking out of the supermarket, collect coupons all the time, fill up their cars at certain times because of petrol prices, go to 5 different places to find the most affordable option. It can also come in overspending to compensate for the fact that you feel undervalued, to be paying for things or brands or material things that you think are going to compensate the undervalued feeling that you have inside of you. So it's a polar opposite side of this. And then it can pop out in so many other ways, such as the avoidance of investing, not daring to invest, not feeling that you deserve to invest and to make money work for you. This is a very common one, especially with women. Rewriting this narrative with so many of my clients, it's like they're starting to invest, they're starting to open to money, to letting go and to allowing money to be made for them. And another huge one is the scarcity cycle. It's being trapped in stories of scarcity that keep us going around and around and around, where we keep that narrative going. I don't deserve this, I can't do this. A big one that I've seen with so many clients is, I'm a fraud, when is this going to end? I'm a fraud, I don't deserve this, this is going to go away. How do we stop all of this in our lives? So if you've got a moment, grab a piece of paper, pause the video, put these down, but really these allow you to dive deeper into your understanding around money. And the first one is, where in my financial life am I playing small? Either avoiding investing, avoiding spending, asking for the raise, not daring to charge your clients. Sometimes I even say to my clients who don't dare to charge, ask for the cash, receive it in your hands, feel worthy of it. Another really beautiful way of receiving the money you deserve is to take that out of your bank account. So to really have the cash and to have it there with you. If you're earning X amount a month, why don't you have that there too? Just so you can start building another relationship with money. Another big question is, what would I do differently if I felt truly worthy of abundance? Abundance is much more than money. It comes in so many different ways. I also like to rewrite the narrative of making money to creating abundance, because making money sounds hard. It's something what you have to make, whereas creating creation. It can be spontaneous. It can be artistic and creating abundance in so many other ways. I always think of nature when you think of abundance. It's so abundant. A papaya, when you open it, has thousands of seeds in there. I mean, maybe not thousands, but a lot. Fruits are constantly giving. How can we tap into that abundance? And creating wealth. How can you allow yourself to create wealth? And sometimes it's at your fingertips. I had a client of mine who had a huge house, kids had moved out, and he could create that into 4 apartments to rent out, to make that abundance to cover his life. How can you start thinking of creating with what you have to make it possible for you to live a life of peace financially? That's something to reflect on as well and write it down. And it doesn't have to be having a huge asset. It can be side hustles, ideas, little things. I just read an incredible story online about a mom who had given birth and all she could think about was shower curtains. And her husband now have a $3 million business that started as a side hustle of shower curtains that are sustainable and beautiful. How can that pop into your life? And this all happened because she was breastfeeding or taking care of her baby at night. So sometimes these ideas come in and we need to follow that creation mode in our lives. And finally, I would love you to think about one financial habit that you could shift, that doesn't show you're fully in alignment, that's holding you back, that you could start doing to move on this path. If that is either tracking your finances, spending less, really looking at how you're spending, or it could even be making time for that side hustle, that idea that is there. It's all part of your financial reality because we create that reality. And this is time and time again what I want to bring. We create our financial reality. Instead of our finances ruling us, our money ruling us, our impulses ruling us, we can dictate it. And I had a beautiful chat with a client of mine yesterday who had exactly said that. She said, after working with you, I realized I'm not going out to spend on the, many things I want. Yes, I could spend $5,000 now and getting all these things that I want, such as this for the cooking and that. And she said, no, I've had a budget of $1,000 a month to upgrade certain things, to do things in my life. And this is very different for each person. And she said, I'm adding things to the list so that when I feel ready and the time is right and it's part of my budget, I buy it. And it's changed her relationship to things, to money, to spending, to material. There is so much more out there than just grabbing the material. It is about creating your life, creating that reality. Once again, going from money dictating us to us dictating money. And this comes from these conversations, from asking for your worth, from stepping in, rewiring what is going on in your system to understand, okay, how can I ask for more abundance? And I've had countless clients doing this, from raising their prices, from creating packages, especially because they're solopreneurs, being able to structure their financial reality because they knew the cash flow coming in. Now, I wish that you could feel this for yourself. And really, number one is getting on top of your finances, knowing what's going on, to be able to then forecast and create that reality for you. I'm super excited to share about this topic. It's so deep in my heart, especially for women, when it comes to your financial independence and your self-worth. It's about finding that strength, tapping into your self-worth, and not charging that little amount that you feel that was worthy years ago, but stepping in, owning who you are, and making that financial reality yours. I hope this inspires you in some ways. I hope you can journal about the questions. Do pop below any comment in the comments, anything that you've learned. Please follow the channel or share if this inspires you, and I can't wait to share more of our journey together.